Hello, dear friend. In this video, we'll talk about the upcoming full moon in Pisces-Virgo, and you will learn how you can prepare for it, what you can expect, and what is the best strategy. What is it that you should do in order to get the maximum out of this full moon? First, the details. The full moon comes on the 20th of September, Monday, around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you have the chance, you might have a short meditation or just to allow your mind for a moment at least to connect to this full moon energy around this particular time, around 8 p.m. Eastern. And we'll discuss also what is it that is so interesting about this full moon. First of all, I do like those signs, Pisces and Virgo. And what I love the most about them is that they can be extremely healing. They can bring deeper understanding. And also, they are related to expanding, understanding more about ourselves, both by tuning into the mind and also the emotions. And like any other full moon, we need to find the balance. We have two signs which seem to be very different in opposition, and yet they are kind of like the two sides of the coin. At the end, they represent the same thing. Pisces-Virgo is the axis of serving. This is the axis of healing and also understanding. In a different way, of course, each of those signs is related to those topics. It's also interesting that the full moon happens right at the end of the signs. The moon will be at 29 degrees Pisces and the sun will be at 29 degrees Virgo. So symbolically, we are supposed to end or complete something. Pisces is the very last sign of the zodiac. It's the 12th house. It's the end, symbolically. And we do have a full moon in Pisces, and we do have also the moon at the very end of this sign. So it's kind of like a double indication that we need to complete something. And this can truly be a culmination. A culmination when it comes to something you have already worked on, something that has been very important for you, and something that now you can process differently. This particular axis, Virgo and Pisces, combines the mind and the heart. Virgo represents the rational mind, what we can assess, the details, the things that we can touch. It's the visible side of the world. Pisces represents the emotions, the intuition, our connection to everything that's invisible for the eye. And also, of course, it's related to our emotions. And one of the main things we need to do is find the balance between the mind and the heart, between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Symbolically, the sun and the moon also represent the conscious and the subconscious mind. The sun is related to our consciousness, and the moon is more related to the subconscious mind or the instincts or the patterns that we don't necessarily recognize. And one of the magical things that may happen on a full moon is that you can see things clearly. When you look at the sky when there is a full moon, you literally see the whole moon. And symbolically, this also means that around a full moon, you can have the same clarity when it comes to something much more personal. It could be related to your intuition. It could be related to some kind of insight that you can receive. Or you may gain more clarity when it comes to your own patterns of behavior, when it comes to how your past is affecting your behavior, your reactions, your responses. So any full moon is great for some kind of insights and realizations that you can have about yourself. But this particular full moon is even better because the moon is in Pisces, the most mystical sign, the sign that is related to the deepest layer of the mind, the subconscious mind, or the intuition, or even our connection with anything beyond the rational mind and the visible world. And this is a great time for us, first of all, to connect to this energy, to use it in our advantage, meaning healing, creativity, doing something meaningful. And also, this is the time when we can see things from a different perspective. You can get a deeper understanding about why you are doing something, why you are uncomfortable with something, or what might be stopping you right now. And of course, the last, or it's almost the last sign, it's the degree. It's almost the last degree of the sign, is again marking that it's time to end something, that it's time to prepare for something new. The other big thing about this full moon is that Neptune, which is the ruler of Pisces, is also part of this full moon. Neptune is very close to the moon, and of course it will bring all of its energy. The good side of it is that this can be incredibly healing. You can reconnect and heal, and the thing here is try to use more your intuition. If you are trying to use too much the rational mind and find the practical solutions, chances are it will be more difficult. But if you allow yourself to be guided, something amazing may happen. The full moon is about seeing things. It's about realizations. Also, during this full moon, we don't have any fire energy. No planets in fire signs. So the actions are not that important at this point. What's more important is the internal process. And that's how you can move yourself to another level. That's how you can heal yourself or be more creative or be more inspired. It's not by pursuing something external. It's not by taking action or fighting harder or doing more of something. Actually, if you can pause, that might be the most positive thing you can do. That could be kind of like the smartest thing. Neptune, the Pisces energy, it's about relaxation. It's about learning to go with the flow. Because the Virgo energy can also be trying to organize everything. There is also certain level of control, desire to have control and organize things and like schedule everything. So if that's generally closer to you as a pattern, you might find yourself wanting to do that. But I think that the better strategy is to go with the flow of the Pisces energy, which means allowing yourself to relax, to slow down, to process things, listening to yourself, not the external world, and going with the flow. As easy or hard as it may sound, that is one of the greatest things we can do related to this full moon. The other thing is that also Mars is pretty close to the Sun. And Mars can bring a desire for some kind of action or the impulse to go in certain direction. But again, keep in mind, Mars is currently quite weak. Mars is in Libra. And a full moon is not so much about the actions that we take. It's more about the processes that we allow to happen. So try not to control everything. Try not to, approach things with force. This doesn't work with the Pisces energy. Instead, relax, have faith, and go with the flow. We also need to talk about the possible challenging side. Neptune, as much as I like this planet, can also be pretty tricky. And when we don't navigate this energy, we may also get really confused. And we can be misled by our own illusions, or sometimes someone or something from the external world may also play a role. But it's possible that things could be quite foggy. It's highly possible that we can be very irrational, that we can be more emotional, we can be more unbalanced. People can be more sensitive, more vulnerable. But again, I think that if you don't force yourself to take immediate action, with time, clarity will come as well. Again, with Mars also playing a role with this full moon, we may have this impulse to do something spontaneously, immediately, very fast. But chances are it won't be the best decision. Instead, give yourself enough time to feel things, to process things. And also don't be afraid to look at your own emotions. For some people, this sounds scary. For others, it sounds very easy, maybe sometimes because they actually haven't done it deeply. But yeah, seriously, this could be a great time for you to explore your emotions and to recognize and maybe even appreciate your own vulnerability, your own sensitivity. Neptune is the sign which is related to the divine creation, or the energy that connects us all. And with the Neptune Pisces energy, the boundaries are very often missing. And it's possible that you may find yourself from one side wanting to connect to everything, but then also maybe feeling like someone might be crossing your boundaries. So this is very important, to have a healthy connection with the outer world, with other people. And also one more topic that could be relevant here is the victim role. Do you find this pattern in yourself, playing the victim, the rescuer, and are you willing to change something about this? Again, a deeper understanding is what's needed the most. Processing this energy, where does it come from? Healing it, allowing it to be, giving it enough space. And then you can connect to people in a much healthier way without needing them to need you, without allowing someone to take advantage, without the need to play the role of the victim, and without the need to feel weak in order to receive or ask for attention of other people. Because those are also some quite typical Neptune Pisces patterns. And I'm personally really excited. For me, this full moon seems to play a major role. I happen to have my moon, Mars, and Jupiter right next to this moon in Pisces, the full moon of Pisces. So I'm excited. I'm ready to work on many things personally. I would love to know also what is triggered in your chart by this full moon. So please share in the comments. I would love to chat with you about this. And if you find also that the full moon triggers your personal planets, then this full moon, of course, will play a much more significant role for you. If you have planets in the last, let's say, 10 degrees of Pisces or Virgo, this will be incredibly important. Even if you have planets at the beginning of Aries or Libra, you will still be triggered by the full moon, even if it's not so directly. Then the other people who may also have planets at the end of Gemini or Sagittarius, those are the people who will be affected the most. Pay attention to which planet is there. Pay attention to the status of this planet. Is this planet harmonious, or is she somehow challenged by the other planets? And that's how you can get an idea of how important the full moon can be for you. I also want to talk about the influence of Pluto, because Pluto can play a really balancing role in this situation. Pluto will have a sextile with the moon and a trine with the sun. So this is what we call synthetic triangle, a closed aspect configuration. So it means that the full moon is not on its own. It's not just an opposition between sun and moon, but there's also help coming from Pluto. And Pluto is the planet of transformations, the planet of deep change, the planet of researching, going deep, going dark when it's necessary. Pluto can also bring us incredible motivation, power, desire to go through the change. And when Pluto has those positive aspects, chances are that it will happen in a smoother way. And it can get, well, kind of easier, if we can ever use this word for Pluto, but I guess we can when the aspects are harmonious. So if you are willing to change something, to transform something, if you need deeper understanding about something, Pluto is really here to help. And also, it brings incredible potential for healing. Those two planets combined together, Pluto and Neptune, can truly bring incredible healing. On top of that, the full moon in Pisces and Virgo also triggers this topic. So one of the most important topics is also connecting to your own inner healer. And that can be truly amazing. We all have more or less of this energy. Some, of course, have much more. And some of them are even meant to serve other people and help and heal. But we do have this inner healer within ourselves, each and every one of us. And you may also ask this healer to help you if you need help with something. You may want to connect with this energy even more if you want to serve other people, if you want to do something for others, if you want to heal others. And of course, whenever we are helping others, we are also helping ourselves. This is one of the lessons of the Pisces energy, actually. We are all connected, and everything that you are doing for other people, you're also doing it for yourself, both for good and bad, of course. So Pluto can bring us the motivation, the dedication, the commitment. Pluto can help us to handle with any fears that may show up, because it is possible with this strong Pisces energy. Sometimes we may feel a little bit too vulnerable. We may feel like, okay, everything and everyone has influence on us, and sometimes it can feel a little shaky and unstable, but Pluto can help you to tap into this inner confidence and strength and commitment and dedication. So it can really work amazingly, and Pluto is actually a great help. Pluto is in Capricorn, so it can bring also more stabilizing, practical, grounded energy. It's very important to process things emotionally, but also to pay attention to your body. The moon is also related to our physical body and our connection to life. The moon symbolizes life itself. So it's great if you can also pay attention to your own body and kind of like work with this energy and allow it also to receive healing. So not just the mind and the emotions, but also the body can be healed. And with the Capricorn energy coming from Pluto, again, we might be able to stabilize things and to feel a little bit more certain. Another thing I also want to mention is that the air energy is the dominant at this point. We have 4 planets in air signs at this full moon. So it's very important also to have our minds open, to have flexibility, and to work on our relationships with other people, to work on our connection, because the dominant elements at this point are air and water. And those are the elements that are related to interacting and connecting. So this is the bigger priority. Again, not so much fighting, achieving, pursuing, chasing, taking action, when it's not so necessary. It's about slowing down, going internal, and then allowing things to happen in a more spontaneous, natural way without rushing. So you don't need to, come up with the actual steps that you are about to take right now. It's much more important to take care of your inner energy of yourself internally. And again, think about what you are ready to end. What should be completed at this point of your life? This is the last sign of the zodiac, which is triggered at the very last degrees from the whole circle. And symbolically, this is also an end of something that has perhaps served you, but it's time to be transformed. It's time to become something better, something different. So let me know what is triggered in your chart by this full moon. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want more information and inspiration or a personal reading, you can go to marsstars.net or check the links below. Thank you for watching and happy full moon.